Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to cover Alphabet, better known as Google. They announced their earnings today, and the earnings were really good. 14% revenue growth on a humongous business. They were more profitable than expected and more profitable than last year. They are spending a lot of capital in, in the data center, both to produce the AI solutions they want to have, as well as providing more data center capacity for the customers around their Google Cloud. All the businesses are clicking and doing well. There's been some stories that are bringing concern to the search business, which is Google's prized big cash flow generating business. And to this point, those concerns are a little unfounded. That part of the business grew just fine. It's the biggest part of the business and it's really profitable. The YouTube business is really strong. The cloud business grew 32%. That's tremendous. Now it's a $50 billion business per year. That's really, really good. And nowhere did they talk about the robo-taxi business. Maybe they'll talk about it on the earnings call. But that is pretty much being given to stockholders for free. A brand new business that is going to be huge is being given to stockholders of Google Alphabet. So I'm going to go through and reevaluate my investing thesis on Google Alphabet. I'll value the company based on free cash flows that I expect in the future. I did update my valuation for them. I'll go through their desirability and see if their moats are being challenged. And then I'll let you know what I plan to do with this stock. This is a major holding in my portfolio, and I'll share with you what I plan to do going forward. So let's get started. Google Alphabet is a $2.33 trillion market cap company. Year to date, they're now in the green. For the longest time, they had been in the red year to date. They are up about 30% if you consider the low point in April to where they're at now. It's up about 30%. But the peer companies in the Magnificent Seven, the big caps, are doing better than Google. NVIDIA is doing better from a percentage perspective, Microsoft, Meta, and Google has been a laggard. It's good to see that the stock has been rising for the last couple of months. The earnings were announced roughly about an hour and a half ago, and the stock is up in after hours trading by about 2.14. The stock did well this week. It'd been going up for a couple of days, and today, during the normal trading session, it did fall down a little bit, and I bought some shares. So I'm glad I did so because now they're up 2%. The market cap again was 2.33 trillion, $359 billion in revenue. They're growing that by 14%. That's humongous. 14%, which means that they're growing the business more than $40 billion per year. They're making it $40 billion larger. That's incredible. Their net income, $111 billion. That just the net income alone is bigger than most businesses in the US, like big businesses. Their P ratio is very rational at 21, forward P 20.5. Again, they grew 14%. I'm going to show you their profitability and their margins. Analysts think it's still discounted, and that's after the stock has been doing well for the last couple of months. Google is a couple of things, just a consistent grower and a profit machine and a cash machine. Look at these cash flows. Geez, incredible. They probably have more cash than some small countries. That would not be an exaggeration. And they took their free cash flow from $22.8 billion in 2018. It's now close to $75 billion of free cash flow. That's incredible. And that's why they're one of the most valuable businesses that's traded on the market. Collectively, they have margins of 58.59, operating margins of 33, profit margins of 30.86%. Incredible. And almost 21% free cash flow margin. Even though they're investing so much money into AI, they're still a real nice cash generating company. Go Google. When we look at statistics, the RSI is at 71.92. They have seen a rally of investors buying into Google ahead of the earnings. I guess investors were smelling that maybe all these naysayers are wrong about Google. All these fundamentals are just too good to resist. They were buying into the stock, showing that a 71.92 RSI shows that the stock is slightly overbought, which is good news. I think if more investors buy into Google and bring up that stock price, I think we all win. And give, I think, Google their deserved respect. Their balance sheet is tremendous. $95 billion of cash, $28 billion of debt. So just a war chest of cash, ready to make robotaxi successful, the AI businesses successful. Whatever the company needs to grow, they've got the resources to do that. 41 analysts cover this stock. Again, they think it's 7.75% discounted. Some analysts are bulls and some are bears. The bears are at 160 price target and the bulls are at 240. I'll show you my valuation in a few minutes. Their growth is going to be good. So that's what I don't quite understand with these stories. Story is, well, search is going away, these other businesses. But for Pete's sake, this is going to be a $500 billion revenue company in the next 3 years. That's huge. And they keep growing at these really, really good rates. Their profitability is going to just expand so fast and bring down their price to earnings ratio. So these fundamentals just look awesome. I consider Google a very desirable business in the highest level of desirability ranking that I could give a company. And the reasons for it is their barriers of entry are really strong. Search, they're dominant. YouTube, they're number one and growing faster than any other streaming company. Their cloud business is growing faster than both Microsoft Azure and AWS. Their AI business is a leader. They are getting more eyeballs on their AI applications than anybody else. Robotaxi, they're number one. So there's just so much that the company has from an intellectual advantage perspective. Their network power is very high, one of the highest probably in the whole industry. And they have a very strong balance sheet. I showed that they have $65 billion of cash on the balance sheet and they produce excessive free cash flow every year. The revenue is growing at 14%. They're going to be a $500 billion revenue company. Their profitability is off the charts, $111 billion of profit. And their free cash flow, they just keep producing free cash flow as a result. So Google's up there. I believe Google arguably is going to be the most valuable company in the stock market at some point in the future. And it is a very desirable business. Now, what is the value per share of Google and how does it compare to its current stock price? Well, jumping to the conclusion, then explaining how I got there, the stock, in my opinion, is discounted by 32%. How did it get there? I put together the most rational, logical free cash flow forecast that I expect Google's going to follow. And I did change this. I actually brought down cash flows on this iteration of the valuation. So that brought down the value per share based on free cash flows. I added cash, take away debt. Then I compare it to the current stock price compared to the per share value based on free cash flows. And there's a 31% discount. What changed to being a more positive number is earnings per share. They are more profitable than expected. Having said that, using a rational PE of 25 and a growth rate of 10%, you get a 33% discount. So collectively, it's a 32% discount on a highly desirable business, which leads me to conclude that I will continue to buy shares of Google Alphabet. This is the second most valuable company on my portfolio, and I'm very comfortable with that. And I'll continue to put capital into Google Alphabet. So that's my video on Google Alphabet. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. I wanted to bring up my paid member program and see if it's something that you'd be interested in. I have 3 different levels. Depending on the level, you get different perks. For example, access to my research and my valuations. Everybody gets that. You get ability to nominate tickers to review on live streams, access to member calls, access to a Discord channel. If you're a super investor, a one-on-one call where we really talk through specifics that you would like to cover And the advanced investor call, you can nominate a stock each month that I can do a deep dive on. I think it's really worth the small investment each month. And you can get more information on the homepage of my YouTube channel. Just look for the join button toward the bottom part of the screen. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with your investments.